Hi, this is Shane Morton with IndieExpress.com here at Queer Flicks, hosted by Diva for Outfest. I am here with writer-director J.C. Calciano for the feature film Is It Just Me? Hi, J.C., how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
So this is the LA premiere of your film. Can you tell us a little bit about the film?
Sure. The film is called Is It Just Me? And I started it about a year ago. I started the film and completed the film in about 6 months. And it's a micro-budget film, and we call it micro-budget because it's the SAG contract. It was produced for considerably less than $100,000, shot in less than 2 weeks, 12 days. Wow. The whole film, yeah. And it's a script that I wrote, and about a little more than a year ago, I said, you know what, I've always wanted to make a film. I've always wanted to do this, so I took all the resources that I had, and I produced it as the writer-director, and with a team of really great people, made it happen.
When did you conceived the idea like a year ago? How long was the writing process for you?
Well, the writing process, actually, it's a script that I wrote about 6 years ago, a little while ago. I've written a bunch of scripts, but this script always just rang true to me. It's a variation, a modern version of the classic Cyrano de Bergerac story of type. And I always liked the script. I dug it out of my vault and looked at it, and I said, let me update it a little bit, modernize it, because back when I wrote it, there was no Facebook or DSL modems, and a lot of the technology changed. So I updated it, and decided to bring it to the screen in about 6 weeks of pre-production.
So it is very much a Cyrano story in terms of plot. Can you tell us just a little bit about the film, kind of what it's about?
Sure. It's a romantic film, and it's a romantic comedy in the genre, and it's about a regular guy who just is looking for love, and he just can't seem to find it, and he's kind of down on himself, and he looks to go to the internet to find the right guy, and he meets who he thinks is the perfect guy in the chat lines, and he starts talking, and he's enamored with him, and they decide to exchange photographs. And he learns, much to his dismay, that the person he's talking to thinks that he is his hot roommate instead of himself, and he then recruits his roommate to help him win the affections of his dream man.
Very nice. So that every man gets his day.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you the ending, but it's a romantic comedy, so nobody dies at the end of it.
So tell us a little bit about casting the film. How did you find your leads?
Well, I went to SAG. It's a SAG picture, and with the micro or the ultra contract, you're allowed to use SAG and non-SAG talent. So I used both, and I cast the leads. I hired a casting director. One of the things that I really, really feel strongly about is if you're going to sit there for 90 minutes, you got to watch good talent. You can't just, you can't watch good talent. You can't sit through 90 minutes of someone's story if you don't believe their story. So I hired a great casting director named Mark Sykes, and he brought the talent to me, and it was just a wonderful process because I saw about 100 people per role, and I finally found who I liked, and then I brought them together to see the chemistry because it was funny, an actor who I loved here and an actress who I loved here, and when I brought them together, they just didn't match. So a lot of it is just to see who, not only a great actor, but a great actor who matches another great actor, and they feel right together.
So you said you shot for 12 days?
12 days. Yeah, we shot for 12 days, and I'm very proud to say I really didn't even go over the 12 hours because, after 10 hours, you go into overtime, and I didn't have the money to afford overtime. So it was really... I tried to write the script as smart as I can, which is consolidating the locations and making it very obtainable, keeping the shot list simple, so it feels bigger than it is, and it feels more dynamic than it is, but it was manageable in the schedule.
So, making a micro-budget feature, I would think that keeping the settings under control as the writer-producer is probably key, right?
Well, what's really nice as a writer, producer, and the director is that you're not fighting with anyone to get what you want. When a situation came up and I didn't have what I needed, or a location fell out, or if a problem with somebody arisen, or whichever, I was able to rewrite it. And I was like, all right, instead of him doing this, let him do this. And instead of this happening, let's do this. And instead of them being in a coffee shop, well, let's move it to a gym. So I was able to think on the fly and deal with problems as they came in because arguing with anyone along those ways.
Yeah, so you're able to agree with yourself well.
Yes.
How long were you in post on this?
Post, I would say it took me about 2 months to cut, about 2 months to score, and then by the time we colored and everything, so post took us about, all told, about 4 months.
Well, you actually have a nice button to your story because your film has been picked up and is coming out. And for a micro-budget feature, that is a big deal. So can you tell us a little bit about the finale to your film?
Sure. I finished the film in January, and we got immediately accepted into Palm Springs International Film Festival, which was awesome. And we've played to date in the last 6 months about 20 film festivals. We have another 10 coming up, and it will be TLA picked up the film, so TLA releasing will release the DVD in October of 2010 this year. So we'll be on DVD and VOD and hopefully theatrical. We're still discussing that in the next couple of months.
Well, congratulations. It's wonderful to know that, for filmmakers out there to know that there's always hope. So thank you very much. Once again, this has been Shane Morton with IndieExpress.com here with JC Calciano of the film Is It Just Me?